As we continue integrating our application to SAP ERP, we want to load our products with the ERP materials. For that, we've seen before that from our knowledge base, it's possible to import the necessary BAPIs through the menu options, Tools, Integration Application, SAP BAPI Import. After entering the access data, we can test the connection. If everything's correct, pressing OK opens the GeneXus ERP for SAP connector interface and displays the same tree that can be seen from within the ERP itself. The Materials BAPI is located within the Logistics General node. Clicking on Materials displays the BAPI documentation and the general information of the object. If we expand the node, all the events of the business object enabled by the BAPI are displayed. Among the events is GetList, which returns the list of materials according to the filters passed by parameter. The Detail tab shows these parameters required by the method, as well as their types, and whether they're input or output. An interesting functionality is that we can test the method before importing it into GeneXus. Here's the list of parameters. There are 10. Input parameters have a white background, and output parameters have a gray background. In the fifth parameter, we're going to enter filters on the materials to be retrieved. This is a structured parameter with 4 fields. And here we can enter different types of filters. A range of material numbers, materials that meet a certain pattern, that are included or excluded, and so on. For example, we're going to indicate materials with numbers between 10 and 150. Select the option Between and Inclusive. We confirm, and click on Execute. First, we can see that the output parameters are loaded. The first one contains the list of materials, and the second one contains the warning and error messages that have been generated. In this case, there were none. Okay, we already tested the method, so now we want to import the BAPI corresponding to the business object with this method. We select it and have it imported. Here we indicate the prefix with which we want the object to be imported into GeneXus. And here the module in GeneXus where it'll be placed. If it doesn't exist, it's created. When we confirm, everything necessary is imported. Once the process is complete, in the KB Explorer window, we see the Enterprise module populated with objects of structured data types. Their purpose is to reflect the structure of the method parameters that we selected to import. We also see 2 external objects. This one, representing the material BAPI, consists of the material property that corresponds to the material number, key of the business object in the ERP, and then the GetList method with its 10 parameters. These are its data types. They're precisely the automatically created structured data types. And a character data type of length 4. The GX Enterprise Session Manager object is imported the first time we import a BAPI. It's used to be able to connect at runtime to the ERP, as well as to be able to save the changes made through the BAPIs to the ERP database, committing the data. Next, we'll connect to the ERP.